What is up, Pass the Rock family? We are officially in the 10-day countdown to NFL football, and it has not felt so good. 1 week, and we'll be doing this every single week for the rest of the season. This is Pass the Rock.
Could one of y'all pass the gosh darn rock? Hey, yo, I'm trying, I ain't lying, and hosting this will be Brian. Yeah. Posting like Kobe Bryant, flying to see the pilot. Yeah. Hit the hezzy, we got Jesse, opinions get kinda messy. A fan of out of lefties, from football to racing jackies. He goes silly when he go deep, sheesh, is Zach Zeman. Teaming up with Jack, we stack the whole team, man. Pass the rock, don't stop the shot clock. Smack the slap shot, come on, now let's talk. Pass the, yo, partner, pass the rock. For real.
What's up, guys? Brian, over in the great state of Louisiana. How we doing this morning?
Great. I got to go to an NFL preseason game yesterday. Almost saw a return, or what do you call that, Zach, when you return a missed field goal for a touchdown? A kick six. Almost saw a kick six by Puka Nakua's younger brother. So, or is it his older brother? I have no idea.
I think it's the younger brother. Twitter has been calling him Thanasis Nakua because that's just what any younger brother who's on the team is. It was great. It was a 106-yard return that ultimately did not score any points. And he said that he felt like he ran more like 200 yards, considering how much he was going back and forth across the field. Zach, what was the highlight of your NFL preseason weekend?
Oh, man, I feel like I didn't really catch much NFL preseason. I'm not the biggest preseason guy. I'm really just excited for tomorrow being the cuts day. Then we get to really figure out who's going to be on the roster, who makes it, who doesn't make it. The only thing exciting that's happened to me during preseason is I was shameless. I bet the under on an Eagles preseason game, and it hit. And that is degenerate behavior. I do not endorse it, but it worked out for me.
Well, it was an Eagles-Patriots game, which is the key indicator. So we bet the under anytime the Patriots are playing. I'm sure it'll hit more often than not. But might not for long because apparently Drake May has outplayed Jacoby Brissett, and he might let the cannon loose all season long. So we'll see what happens. We'll see who's actually the week one starter. We're going to do a record prediction to start off the show. Not the New England Patriots, because that's going to be 3 wins probably or less. We're going to look over at the Houston Texans to start off today's show. So let's predict the Texans record in 2024. Starting in week one, we start with week one at Indianapolis. Zach, you can go.
All right. So, okay, perfect. No, perfect. Zach, go.
All right, I'll go first. I think Texans are going to start the season strong with a big win in Indianapolis, really just come out the gate with a statement win. Give me the Texans.
I have the Texans' only loss in division to the Colts, and I don't know necessarily which one. So I'll give the Colts the win at home in week one. So that's a loss for me.
I think I'm giving the Texans this win. I think that they come out hot to start the season. So 1-0. Then week two, hosting the Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears, another team with an exciting new look offense, but I'm going with the Texans on this one.
Yeah, I think the Bears are going to struggle out the gate, and Texans big on Sunday Night Football.
All right, so 2-0 at Minnesota for week three.
I am going to genuinely feel bad for the Minnesota Vikings every time I see them on TV this season. Give me the Houston Texans.
Another big win for the Texans. I think the Vikings are going to be spiraling all year.
All right, so hot start starting 3-0. Now in division, hosting the Jaguars for week four.
Speaking of teams that could be spiraling all season, I don't think the Jaguars are going to be as good as a lot of people say they are. Give me the Texans at home.
I think this is going to be a tough game for them, actually, but I still have the Texans sweeping the Jaguars, so a big Houston win.
All right, 4-0 for the Texans now. Going into week five, hosting the Buffalo Bills. Probably their toughest game yet.
Definitely their toughest game yet, and I think Josh Allen is going to come in there and defeat the Houston Texans. He's just that good. The Buffalo defense should hold together. I think this is the wake-up call of a game. Give me Buffalo.
Well, Jesse, now you see how tough it is to host. I have the Bills going in and winning this game also. I just think they have just as much bad taste in their mouth as Stephon Diggs, and I think the Bills win it.
I actually was going to take the Bills too, so that's okay. So the Bills give the Texans their first loss of the season. Great bounce back spot, week 6 at the Patriots.
I'm going to feel bad every time I see the Patriots on my television this season. Give me the Houston Texans.
Zach, don't ever feel bad for the Patriots or their fans ever. Okay.
Fair. Very fair.
Probably the best run in the history of the NFL going forward as well. So the Patriots, this is a tough team. This is a team with a great quarterback and unbelievable. Oh, I'm just joking. There's no talent there. Give me Houston.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going with that. But anyway, going into week 7, possible game of the year watch at Green Bay. I think this is going to be a phenomenal game.
Game of the year is a bit of a claim, but
Jordan Stroud, it does not get much better than that.
True. I am taking the Packers at home. You got a team from the South traveling up north. It's going to start to be a little chill. It's going to start to be a bit chillier by week 7. I'm going to take the Packers.
Oh, this is perfect weather, October 20th. Come on. This is like the middle of fall, but the Packers still beat the Texans, I think, pretty handily by 10.
All right. Pretty unanimous so far. I haven't even had to make a pick in a few weeks. So week 8, hosting the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, and because it's at home, I'm taking the Houston Texans. I really think there's a good chance the Texans could sweep their division 6-0.
I do not think they're going to sweep. I do think they lose one to the Colts, but I already had them losing in week 1, so this is a Texans win for me.
I would have actually given this one to the Colts to compensate, but I get outvoted. So they beat the Colts. They sweep the Colts. Now heading into week 9 at the Jets.
Yeah, short week with this being Thursday night football, and I'm giving this to the Jets. I think that MetLife turf could probably really screw up this Houston team because it screws up everyone who plays there. I think the Jets are going to get a win out of this one.
Yeah, this is a tough 3-game stretch. Jets, Lions, Cowboys. Texans lose this one to the Jets.
All right, so they drop the short week to the Jets. Now 6-3. Week 10, hosting the Detroit Lions.
Now, if we're talking potential games of the year, this could be up there as well. I think, it's going to be a tough matchup, but I think the Texans are going to pull this one out at home. Give me the Texans defeating the Lions.
No way. That's insane. The Lions, the fans travel really well. The team travels very well. I think this Lions team is, poised to do even better than last year. So give me the Lions.
I'm actually going to lean with the Lions as well. I think that the Texans have to lose some games somewhere this season, and I think that this is one of their toughest opponents. But they do have a tough AFC stretch coming up at the end. So before that, week 11 now, they are now 6-4. Week 11 at the Cowboys. A little Texas matchup.
How about that? How about them Cowboys? CeeDee Lamb with his extension earlier. I guess we'll talk about that later. I'm giving the edge to the Dallas Cowboys. They've always been the big brother of the state. I do think that the Texans, it should be a very good game, but I'm going to say that the Cowboys are going to eke one out at home. Give me the Cowboys.
Wow. I'm glad we're taping this. I did not expect you to pick the Cowboys. I'm absolutely picking the Cowboys. I think the Texans are still the little younger brother that can't win the state championship. All Cowboys.
I would 100% take the Texans here. I think this is the year that they become the big bro of Texas. I think Dallas takes a step back, and I think Houston goes in there and puts 40 points on the Cowboys defense. But we'll give them a loss here. So 6-5 now, 3-game losing streak as well these last 3 weeks. So a get-right spot, week 12, hosting Tennessee.
And don't worry, they're easily going to get right here. I have the Texans blowing out the Titans in week 12.
Yeah, I think the Titans have a sneaky chance to get into the worst 3 teams in the NFL, which we'll talk about later. This is a big win for Houston.
All right, so week 13 now at Jacksonville, another big division game.
Yeah, even if it's at Jacksonville, I think this Texans team is a lot better than this Jaguars team. Give me the Texans.
I definitely don't think they're much better. They're a team on the rise. I think they've gotten way too much press this offseason, and the Jaguars have gotten no press because they're in Jacksonville and people forget that it's an NFL city. But I think this is close. Texans still win.
All right, so we give that to Houston now. Riding the ship a little more now, 8-5. So 8-5 heading into the Week 14 bye, and these last couple games are going to be tough. Week 15 hosting the Miami Dolphins.
I mean, we're asking the Dolphins to come into Houston and win probably one of their biggest games of the season. I don't trust Miami to win any big games this year. Give me the Texans.
Talk about a 3-game losing streak. We've already gotten one for the Texans. I think they started another one this week. Miami comes in and wins, shows they've already been there before.
Yeah, I'm giving this one to Miami. I think that it is going to be a tough stretch. And actually, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna go the other way because I think that the next 2 games are even tougher. I'm gonna give this one to Houston. I think that they get this game because their next 2 games are going to be the toughest of the season. I think that they do get a win here. 3-game winning streak puts them back up at 9-5, heading into Week 16, 6 days later against the defending champions, the Kansas City Chiefs.
God. Patrick Mahomes, Lord of all football, is going to lead the Chiefs to a victory over the Houston Texans. Not a big surprise there.
Yeah, like if we did this with the Chiefs, we would have to pick some losses for them. I don't think anybody really believes them to go 17-0, but this isn't the week. I think the Chiefs pounce on the Texans. The Texans are an up-and-coming team, but they're not there yet.
All right, so already a short week for them, and then 4 days later on Christmas, they play the Baltimore Ravens at home.
God. And I'm going with the Ravens on this one. I think that Lamar Jackson is going to have another phenomenal season. I think that rushing offense is going to be extremely potent. And I overall just think the Ravens are a bit more ready. I think they're a bit more of the better team. Give me the Ravens in this one.
By the way, the schedule makers don't love Houston. I mean, they give them the Colts, Jets in late October, 4 days apart. And then they do this Dolphins, Chiefs, Ravens within 10 days, 11 days. That's rough. That's a big
3 games in 10 days against probably 3 of the top 4 teams in the AFC.
Right. So this is a loss. I think the Baltimore is excited to spend Christmas in Houston.
All right, so this is pushing it for them. So 9-7 heading into Week 18 at the Titans.
I know some people say that the Titans have a solid home atmosphere. I don't think it's going to phase the Texans. They're going to be playing for something. They need this win to get to double-digit wins. I think they're going to go all out. Give me the Texans ending their season with a win and a playoff berth.
Yeah, this is a win for the Texans. The Titans aren't putting up any sort of fight, especially Week 18.
All right, so after starting out 4-0, they only finished 10-7 with a tough back end of their schedule, but I do think that's enough for them to make the playoffs. So let us know what you think if we totally mess that up. Just a note, the Ravens also do play 3 games within the same 10-day span as the Texans there, but they get to play the Giants on the 15th and then the Steelers on the 21st, and then the Texans versus the Chiefs and the Dolphins those 2 weeks. So
that's like a 2-week bye week.
That's terrible. Yeah. That's terrible.
Terrible. So that's going to be the Texans schedule for this season. 10-7 for the Houston Texans. I personally think that they could do better than that. I think that they should be more at the 11 or 12 win mark, but the last 5 weeks of their season are pretty tough, and they have another tough midweek stretch there. So we're going to go on now to another team that has been talked about a lot this offseason, especially in fantasy. We're going to look at the Los Angeles Rams. So let's predict the Los Angeles Rams schedule in 2024. Let's predict the Los Angeles Rams record in 2024. Starting Week 1 at the Lions, little Matthew Stafford returning to Detroit.
Happened in the playoffs last year. It's happening again. Give me the Lions in a win here.
Yeah, this is a big Lions win. I do think that the Rams are better than I initially thought when we predicted their their season a couple weeks ago, but this is not a game they're going to win.
All right, so starting the season 0-1, Week 2 at the Cardinals.
Yeah, like the Cardinals have any home field advantage. It's the Cardinals still. I know that the Cardinals are an up-and-coming team. They're not quite there yet. I'm taking the Rams here.
Yeah, barring a catastrophic injury for Stafford, this is a big win for the Rams.
All right, so 1-1, Week 3, hosting the Niners.
The Niners are an absolute juggernaut. I am taking the Niners here.
Yeah, the Rams aren't even going to play a close game against the Niners in 2024, all 49ers.
I actually think that they split. I think that they split with the Niners. The Rams do play well against San Francisco a lot of the time. I think that they get a game off of them, but we'll see. It sucks that their home game is week 3. All right, week 4 at the Bears.
To me, this is your NFC wild card race preview. Winner of this will probably get the advantage at the end of the season. And I'm going with the Rams in this one over the Bears.
I agree that this is a tight game, and it's got everything to do with the wild card at the end. But I think the Bears win this one at home. This might be like the first step into the winner's circle for this new look Bears.
I'm giving this one to the Rams. I think the Rams are a step above the Chicago Bears. So that brings them to 2-2, week 5, hosting the Packers.
Packers are a team that I'm really excited for. I think they keep their momentum rolling even in LA. Give me the Packers in this one.
Yeah, I think that entire stadium's going to be full of green and gold instead of blue and gold. It's all Packers.
All right, I like it. So heading into the bye there, 2-3, week 6. Week 7, hosting the Raiders.
Yeah, coming off a bye, facing a Raiders team that I don't really think is going to make a lot of noise this year. I'm giving this to the Rams.
The old school battle of LA, Rams and Raiders. Rams big time.
All right, so 3-3, week 8, hosting the Vikings. Little soft stretch here.
Yeah, poor Vikings. I'm going with the Rams in a big win.
I think the Vikings get some stuff together by mid-October. This is a close game. This is actually a Thursday night game, but Rams at home.
All right, man. The Vikings might go 0-18 compared to some of these schedules that we're doing. It seems like every time someone plays the Vikings, it's a win. Week 9 at the Seahawks. This has been a very good game the last couple of years, Rams-Seahawks.
Yeah, very good matchup. I think they're going to end up splitting against the Seahawks, so I'm taking the Seahawks at home in week 9.
Yeah, I think they split against the Seahawks too, and this is a loss.
Yeah, okay. Wait, sorry, Zach, did you say win or loss?
I said the Seahawks are going to win.
All right, so Seattle takes this one off the Rams, heading into week 10 at the Dolphins.
They're actually hosting the Dolphins.
Oh, I read that wrong. Yeah. Sorry. Heading into week 10, hosting the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, like Brian said, the Packers are going to make that stadium green and gold. I think Dolphins fans are going to make that stadium teal and orange, I guess. Give me the Dolphins in a big win.
Awesome. The color breakdown's awesome. This is definitely a Dolphins win. The Rams are proving to be just as mediocre as we thought, doing a win-loss. Well, they won 2 in a row. Now it looks like they lose 2 in a row.
All right, so 4-5, about halfway through the season. It does get better. Week 11 at the Patriots.
Hopefully by this point, Drake May is starting to develop into a solid quarterback, but I still think the Rams are going to go into Foxborough and win.
Hopefully. Did you see him last night? The guy seems a lot further along than I am.
That's true. He did look really good last night. He looked really good last night.
And he was just playing preseason players, much like he'll probably end up playing against the Rams. But I'll take the Rams in this one.
All right, so the Rams now get back to 500. Week 12, hosting the Eagles.
Yeah, speaking of teams who travel well, now from green and gold to teal and orange, now to probably green and black. I'm going to guess green and black. Give me the Eagles. Give me the Eagles in a win on the road.
You know what? The Rams have to win one surprise game all year. I like the Eagles starting fast again like they did last year and falling off. Give me the Rams in this one just so Jesse gets the pick.
I'm going to give it to the Rams too. I think that there's one game that they need to win here that's not predictable, and there's a game that the Eagles are just going to give away. And I think that the Rams offense can hang with the Eagles offense. It's going to be I think this game is going to come down to which defense can get that crucial turnover at a certain point of the game. And I think that the Eagles got to drop one somewhere. So let's give it to the Rams, 6-5, week 13 at the Saints. What happens?
Well, in week 13, I'm going to say that momentum from week 12 continues. They're going to win against the Saints.
So if this game was early in the season, I would pick the Rams easily. But I think by this point, we're gonna have the Spencer Rattler Saints, not the Derek Carr Saints. Saints with a big win at home.
With Spencer, whoa. With Spencer Rattler.
Yes. Watch any of the tape from preseason. He's more mobile than Derek Carr. He's more accurate than Derek Carr. He's more ready today. He beats the Rams in week 13.
I never thought I'd ever hear someone say that about Spencer Rattler. Okay.
Brian, if anything, I think this is a Taysom Hill win where he scores like 3 touchdowns somehow. But absolutely not. This is a Rams win. Moving on to week 14 at Buffalo.
They're hosting Buffalo.
Why do I keep reading this wrong? Oh,
what is this, soccer?
Yeah.
Sorry. So actually, by the way, this is now a little winning streak for the Rams now on a 3-game winning streak. So week 13, they beat the Saints. Week 14, hosting the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, and despite being back at home, I'm giving the Bills this one, ending that 3-game win streak.
Oh, yeah. I think the Bills, they're going to love to be in L.A. in December. All those fans, all those players, Bills win big.
All right, so that hands them a loss. That brings them to week 15, huge game at the 49ers.
Yeah, and I'm giving this to the 49ers. It's a short week for the Rams. They're playing on Thursday night at San Francisco. I'm going with the dominant 49ers. They're probably trying to battle for a 1 seed at this point.
Yeah, this one's not close. 49ers big.
All right, that brings them back to 500 at 7-7, week 16 at the Jets.
Yeah, and I feel like this, we mentioned earlier how it's like there's one game where it's like you don't expect a team to beat another. I feel like people are going to be like, oh, well, like it's in MetLife. Jets should be favored. I think the Rams go in there and beat the Jets. Give me the Rams.
Yeah, if they weren't going all the way across the country late in the season, tired from everything going on, I'd say maybe, but it's the Jets in this one.
This is a tough one. They are coming off of 10 days rest after facing San Francisco on Thursday the week before. I think I'll give it to the Jets as well. Jets at home, Rams, little skid here, 3 games in a row, dropping from 7-5 to 7-8. Must win now, week 17, hosting the Cardinals.
Very streaky Rams teams. Very sneaky Rams season we're predicting here. I think they're going to end it winning these last 2 games. So give me the Rams at home hosting the Cardinals.
See, I think this is the perfect game for the Cardinals to win. So I think they end up splitting. I did pick the Rams to win in Arizona, but I think at this point, the Cardinals are eliminated, although close to the 7-8 seed, and they get a win in LA. I think they're playing without any abandon, and Kyler Murray does it.
I'm going to give this one to the Rams. I do think that this is a must-win for them. Obviously, the Cardinals might just be playing spoiler for see if they can ruin the Rams season and end it right here. But I'm going to give this one to the Rams. Give them some hope. 8-8 now, going into the final week of the season, hosting Seattle.
Yeah, feels like a winner-go-home scenario for the Rams. I say they're going to rally all 7 of their fans at their home stadium. They're going to win in front of them. Give me a win at home to end the season and get in the playoffs. Rams defeat the Seahawks.
I don't think 9-8 is going to make the playoffs, and I don't think 8-9 will, which I think the Rams will end up. So I say this is a loss. I think the Seahawks actually make the playoffs.
I think that this is definitely a great game that could be for the 7th seed between Seattle and LA, but I have LA above the Seahawks this year. So I'm going to give the Rams the win. They end at 9-8 officially. Is that good enough to make the playoffs? We'll see. So let us know if we screwed that up as well. People had a lot to say about our Steelers record prediction. So let us know if we're total goofballs.
Please keep calling me a casual. I am definitely listening. Please keep calling me a casual, guys.
I saw someone on TikTok say the Rams were going like 12-5 and we're going to win the division. And I was like, that's how you know you're a little delusional.
12-5, sure, you can have that scenario, but winning the division feels near impossible with the Niners.
I think that they're just banking that the Niners would Brandon Ayuk doesn't stay and the offense kind of falls apart and whatever. But that's a lot of ifs. So we're going to move on now and go on to a fun question about some poor teams. And let us know in the chat who you think the answer to this question is. So who are the 3 worst teams in the NFL this season? Brian, going to you.
All right. So I think a lot of people have Patriots, Panthers in this group, and it's hard for me not to include those 2 teams. But I kind of liked what I saw out of Drake May for the first time yesterday. And so I'm gonna kick the Pats out of the bottom 3. I think they'll be really, really bad. They just won't be bottom 3. Panthers, it's an easy. They still don't have a quarterback. They're going to try this again. It's not going to work. They got one of the worst Steeler receivers in Deontay Johnson. He can't stay healthy. So I'm keeping them in there. I'm also going to add the Broncos. I don't think that Bo Nix is going to show us much at all. And I think that team is just going to be terrible from the beginning. And I'm going to throw in the Titans as well. The Titans, I'm not that excited about. I don't think they have a great plan. I don't know what they're going to do at the running back position, and their line is just not that good. So Titans, Broncos, and Panthers.
All right. Well, for my bottom 3, I am also including the Panthers. I think they're far and away the worst team in the league. I don't think there's any question about that whatsoever. I was similar to you. I was debating the Patriots, but I feel like the Broncos are a worse overall team. I'm putting the Broncos in my bottom 3. And then finally, I'm putting the Washington Commanders as the last team that I think will be a bottom 3 NFL team this year. Their offense now, after trading Jahan Dotson, looks pretty much lethargic outside of Terry McLaurin. They're going to be developing Jaden Daniels throughout the year, and I don't think he has shown as much that I like so far. I don't think this is going to be a good season for Washington, but at least they have a clear vision, unlike a team like Carolina.
I might be chalk on this, but I'm surprised you didn't mention. I think the Giants are definitely in that bottom 3 tier.
Giants were right there. They were right there. I thought about it.
There's nothing I like coming out of the Giants in training camp. I mean, there's some fun stars on the defensive side, like Brian Burns is good, Dexter Lawrence is good, Kayvon Thibodeau is good. But, I mean, this offense is going to be absolutely putrid. So I think the Giants, the Patriots, and the Panthers are my bottom 3 teams this year. I've looked at the Patriots schedule. I can't find 4 wins there. Like, it's pretty hard looking at it. It's pretty gruesome, honestly. I think that there's a few games in the middle of the season against, like, Tennessee here and, like, maybe some of these other teams, but it's going to be rough for the Pats. There's no way that they exceed 5 wins. And I think the Giants will genuinely have the number 1 pick next year. So we'll see what happens. I would say honorable mention, I almost put the Saints there. And the only reason I'm not is because I think that their defense is still top 10 level, but that defense is going to stay on the field for 75% of the game. So that top 10 might shrink down to top 15 or top 20 because those guys are just getting worn down by like week 8. So it's pretty hard when the offense can't move the ball. So we'll have to see. Right now, the NFL Power Rankings has them at 27 out of 32. So only a couple spots away from the bottom 3. But similar question now, moving on. And Zach, we'll go to you first for this one. Which NFL teams do you want 0 fantasy players from? Kind of the same question.
Yeah, pretty obvious way to start it. But I think you do not want any players from the Carolina Panthers. I think the only one that I'm looking at with upside is Jonathan Brooks, but he is coming off of that injury that he had in college. He won't be available week 1. He's a guy that maybe I'll look into getting on waivers, but really, I don't need him. I know I can get better options on different NFL teams. And right now, he just has upside. It's unrealized right now. So the Panthers are an easy team that I don't want anyone from. I'm also going to argue for the Broncos. Maybe you want a Cortland Sutton. Other than that, I see no real value in the Broncos for fantasy. So yeah, those 2 teams, especially Super Bowl matchup once upon a time. Now, I don't want to touch them.
All right, Brian, who are you not touching at all? Which team?
Well, the Panthers are easy, so I'm throwing them out. The Giants actually have some players I would take in fantasy, so I'm not going to totally cut them out. The Pats, it's going to be tough. I think they may even deplete their wide receiver room even more So that's going to be a tough team. And I think the Raiders are going to be a really tough team to have any players. I know Devontae Adams is ranked up there, but I'm going to let other people deal with that headache rather than take it on myself. But this question is interesting because I heard in another podcast somebody actually say the Bengals as their answer to this, for the reason being that Joe Burrow's wrist injury last year was such a oddball kind of injury that he thinks this person was like, I'll let everybody else take all the Bengals and I'll just stay away and see what happens. So just throwing that out.
I also want to throw out another team that I don't really love what they have on offense either, especially for fantasy value. I'm not going to be taking any Tennessee Titans on my fantasy team this year. I feel like maybe a DeAndre Hopkins, but I'm not trusting DeAndre Hopkins at his age right now. I don't like Tony Pollard. I don't like Calvin Ridley. I don't like Tyler Boyd. I don't see a lot of value in the Titans offense whatsoever for fantasy.
Oh, I honestly disagree. I love Calvin Ridley this year. I think that they just paid him $92 million to come in and catch 100 balls this year from Will Levis. I think he's the number one on this team over DeAndre Hopkins, and I don't think it's even close. So I don't love the running back room because I think Spears and Pollard will just eat from each other. But I think if you can get Calvin Ridley as he's going off the board as the wide receiver 32 right now. I think he could easily outpace that. So I like him. My team for this, I'm not drafting a single New York Giant. You could not pay me money to draft a New York Giant. I don't care if it's Malik Neighbors. He's the only one worth anything, and you probably have to take him in the third round at this point because that's where his ADP is lying. I think Malik Neighbors is going to be an overpay no matter where you get him. It's very unlikely to me that he has a consistent and sustainable good fantasy season. And I just don't think that any of the other Giants are even worth talking about. The next best option would maybe be Devin Singletary as a late round RB2 or 3. I just don't want anything to do with the Giants. I think this offense is going to be horrible. And if you're seriously oh, I need to win my fantasy matchup, who am I depending on? If it's a New York Giant, just take the loss, bro. Just take the loss. So that's what you're going out with. Honorable mention, I would also consider, honestly, not because they're that bad, but I would consider the Denver Broncos as well. I think that team is going to be really, really bad. The only guy I like there is Javonte Williams a little bit because Sean Payton loves using his running backs. He loves throwing to running backs. So if you're in a PPR league, that might be what you want to go for. But if not, then whatever. So we're going to move on to our next question of the day. So we did this a few weeks ago. I built a similar little scenario here. So which fantasy core would you build your team around? We have Team A, Kyler Murray, Jonathan Taylor, AJ Brown. Team B, Jalen Hurts, Derrick Henry, Puka Nacua. Team C, Dak Prescott, Travis Etienne, and CeeDee Lamb. And Team D, Anthony Richardson, Isaiah Pacheco, and Garrett Wilson. Brian, which team would you build around in fantasy football?
I'm eliminating Team D off the bat because I am not a believer in Anthony Richardson. It amazes me he gets the ranking he gets. Potential rushing yards, I know are a big thing, but the guy has only played 13 football games ever. So no thank you to D. I'm also going to cut out B. This Puka Nacua injury kind of scares me. I think I'm going to fade him a lot in drafts over this next week because I'm just going to let somebody else deal with that headache. So it comes down to Prescott, Etienne, and Lamb versus Murray, Taylor, and A.J. Brown. Give me Murray, Taylor, A.J. Brown. I love A.J. Brown this year. I think he's going to have a huge year with Jalen Hurts. I think Kyler Murray's going to have a big year, having some weapons, namely Marvin Harrison Jr. And I think if the Colts are smart, Anthony Richardson is not running the ball. Jonathan Taylor is. So give me A.
All right, Zach, any different?
Yeah, I'm thinking a little bit differently, but similar to Brian, I'm cutting out D only because I feel uncertain about what Anthony Richardson is going to bring this year. I have high hopes. Doesn't mean they're going to be fulfilled. I'm knocking out B, not only because of Puka Nacua's injury. I'm also just not super confident in Derrick Henry having another elite season at running back, moving to a new team, turning the page, what is it? He just turned 30. He's joining a new team. That's usually a recipe for disaster for running backs. So Derrick Henry's a guy that I'm trying to fade in most of my fantasy drafts anyways. That leaves me with Team A and Team C. and I'm not nearly as confident in Kyler Murray, so I'm going with Team C on this one. I'm going with the Dak Prescott CeeDee Lamb duo. I mean, some people like to stack their quarterback wide receiver to get pretty much, every time the touchdown is thrown by Dak Prescott, if it lands in CeeDee Lamb's hands, you just earned yourself, what is that, 14 points? More, well, depending on the yards, it could be 20 points for a touchdown pass. I mean, I feel like that combo can be really lethal. Travis Etienne is not a running back that I feel super strongly about one way or the other, but I think that C is the most well-rounded team on this list.
The Cowboys love today from Zach is pretty unbelievable. Keep going.
I know. But I'm being logical. I'm not being a fan. If I was a fan, it'd be Team B.
I'm going with Team C as well. I love the Cowboys stack. I think Dak and CeeDee week to week is probably one of the best QB wide receiver stacks you can have. And I think Travis Etienne is one of the last of a dying breed of workhorse running backs that is truly a 3-down guy. I think it's Team C. I would actually take Team D with my second pick. I love Isaiah Pacheco this year. I can't get enough of him. Garrett Wilson also in for a huge year. And I think Anthony Richardson, look, obviously it's always if he can stay healthy, but I think there's a ton of upside there. It's the weakest spot on this team, but I think that Pacheco and Wilson would carry it as well. But I think that Team C is pretty nasty. So let us know what you would do. If you want to play fantasy with the Lost Tribe community, you can join one of our fantasy leagues, link in bio, and you can also join our NFL Survivor Pool, also link in bio of our page. So if you want to play fantasy football with Lost Tribe, with our community, check out the links in our profile, and you can draft one of these teams. So, all right, moving on. We're going to do some trivia. Oh, this is a fun one. So we're going to be looking at the good old year of 2017 on today's trivia. Let me pull up the list here. So how many are we going to do here? Ooh.
2017, that's the Eagles Pats Super Bowl?
This is the...
Or was that Kansas City? No, that's Pats Eagles, I think.
This was the Eagles won in 2017. They beat the Patriots. So trying to see how many names we should do. Let's do the top 16, why don't we? Can you name the fantasy point leaders from 2017? Actually, can you name the fantasy football leaders from 2017? These are flex PPR. So no QBs. Everyone else is on the table. Full PPR. No, sorry. This list is half PPR. Half PPR.
No quarterbacks.
So yeah. Can you name the fantasy leaders from 2017 flex half PPR?
Okay. Immediately when I think 2017, I think of some players. I'm the first thing that came to my mind was Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown is number 6. He had a great year.
I'm thinking Pittsburgh, Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell is above him at number 2 with 299 fantasy points.
I'm thinking man, he was. I remember when this guy was so good in fantasy, and I remember when I was live on TikTok talking about running backs. They still think this guy has like second round value. Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara was number 3 in 2017.
Is Alvin Kamara a second round fantasy pick in 2024? I don't think so.
No, I think he's 3rd or 4th.
I would argue worse than that. I think he's just like right in the middle of the second, like RB2 group, which probably puts him 4th round. But
yeah.
Go ahead.
No.
What about Todd Gurley?
Todd Gurley, number 1. This was his year. 351 points, 52 points above second place, and that's half PPR.
Wow.
He's a dog.
How about one of my favorite polls ever, whenever we're talking about older players, Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon, number 7. Big year for him, 259 points.
This was a fun offensive year for the Saints, unlike this year coming up. Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram joins Alvin Kamara at number 8, both in the top 10.
How
Might be another one on here.
about Kareem Hunt?
Kareem Hunt, number 4 with 268 points. Huge year for Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
This is probably too early, but Mike Thomas.
Michael Thomas is the 3rd Saint on this list at number 14 for Michael Thomas. He had a nice year with 205 points.
How about
And now nobody? He's not signed at all for some reason.
How about Shady McCoy?
Shady McCoy comes in at number 9 with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
What about Uncle Lenny Fournette?
Uncle Lenny, number 11 this year with 212.
How about, he's been pretty consistent over the last half decade. How about Keenan Allen?
Keenan Allen, number 10. So nice pull, 233 points. So you're missing number 5 and then 12, 13, 15, 16.
Okay.
That's exactly who I was going to guess. Mike Evans.
Mike Evans is not on this list. Mike Evans had only 167 points that year. He had 1,001 yards, but not on the list.
How about Eagles and Titans legend Julio Jones?
He was not on either of those teams in this year, obviously, but he is number 12. Julio Jones, number 12 on the list.
Was Larry Fitzgerald still playing in 2017?
He absolutely was. And he's number 13 on the list, right behind Julio.
Nice.
He had a nice little 1,200-yard season.
This guy played a full season. I'm going to guess Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill is the first guy off the list in 2017. He is 3 points off the list.
What about AJ Green?
No, AJ Green is just off the list as well. He's number 23. He's about 15 points off the list.
Y'all remember when Jarvis Landry had legit fantasy value?
As a Miami Dolphin, Jarvis Landry is the last name, number 16. Wow. So 2 guys left. You have 1 running back and 1 receiver.
And what are the ranks?
5 and 15.
Okay.
The receiver is higher.
Des Bryant? That's probably too old.
No, not Des Bryant. I think he was done by then. No Des Bryant, no.
Adam Thielen?
Not a bad guess. Adam Thielen is 3 names off the list, misses it by about 10 points. Adam Thielen, no good. But that was a really good year for him.
Saint Killer Devontae Freeman.
No, it's not Devontae Freeman. He is number 29.
Ooh.
So we have 1 AFC player and 1 NFC player and a receiver and a running back.
Did we say D-Hop?
You did not. And D-Hop is number 5 with the Texans. Huge year for him. Almost 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns, 262 fantasy points. Number 5. So you're missing just number 15. It is an NFC running back.
Zeke.
No, not Zeke. Zeke is about 15 points off the list.
CMC.
Nope, not CMC. But he played for the team that CMC currently plays for.
Oh, I think I know who it is.
Go ahead. I don't even have a guess. Go ahead.
Is it Carlos Hyde?
Carlos Hyde, bang, number 15.
Wow.
Good stuff.
That's crazy.
All right, that was a good one.
Should probably do our draft now since I unfortunately have to go in a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then we can do the draft.
Yeah,
and we'll save that. All right, we're gonna do our draft for today. So this is a good one. Let me just pull it up. So, all right. let's do a draft off of players outside the top 100 ADP in fantasy. So they have to have at least over 100 average draft position on Fantasy Pros. So that's what we're going to do. Brian has the first pick today. So let's do it.
I've looked at this list, and there's one guy that I keep coming back to that I think could be top 10 at his position for the next 10 years. And he's ranked outside the top 100 ADP, Rome Odunze with the Chicago Bears. I love everything they're saying about him. I love everything he's saying. Let's go to Rome.
All right. I like it. That's a good pick right there. Let's see. Where do I want to go with this? So it's tough, man. There's not a lot of value here season long, but all right. I'm going to go with my running back to start this off, and I'm going to take Tajay Spears. I think he's going to have a really good year in Tennessee. I know they paid Tony Pollard a lot of money, but I think that he's going to get very involved, especially as a passing back. So give me Tajay.
All right. With back-to-back picks here, there are two receivers that I'm looking at that I'm really happy to land both of them. First, give me JSN. I think he's going to have an increased role in this Seahawks offense. I feel like that's going to be a good value pick right there. And then with my second pick, listed right after him, I really like what I'm seeing from this guy out of training camp. I really like what I'm hearing about him. I think he's going to have a very high role on the team he's on. Give me Keon Coleman out of Buffalo.
I like that. All right, now back to me. Interesting. Okay. I don't know if he's hurt still. This is an interesting spot for me to be in. There's so many like wide receiver 2s and 3s that are like left, but I don't know if he's going to get suspended or not. But whatever. Outside the top 100, it feels almost criminal not to take Jordan Addison here. So I'm just going to go ahead and take Jordan Addison.
All right. So I get two. And these were two guys I thought about taking with my first overall pick, but decided against. So at running back, give me Jerome Ford. Give me somebody that I know at least for the first month as a starter. And I can build a little, lead on you guys as far as total points. And then the guy I really wanted to get with my number one overall pick, but I didn't want to take a quarterback that early, Jaden Daniels. I think he absolutely could be a top 8 quarterback by the end of the year.
Wow. Bold move there, Podna.
Yeah.
All right, looking next. Lot of options here. This is tough, but I don't want to take I don't want to take it. You know what? I'll just do it because I'm too indecisive. I'm going to go. Nah, I can't go quarterback. I'm going to go flex. Give me the rookie Brock Bowers, one of the first guys off this list with an ADP of 101. I'll take the rookie Brock Bowers. I think he's going to have a huge role in the Raiders offense.
Ugh. I really wanted Brock to fall back to me. That's a good pick. Oh, man. Now I actually have to, think about my pick. That's not fun. I feel like regardless of what, quarterback I take, we're all going to end up with a solid quarterback anyways. So I might just wait on that. Go with a running back and then a flex position player. Man. See, wide receiver is so deep, but running back is just tough beat after tough beat. So I'm going to take my running back first. Rookie coming out of Michigan, playing with the Rams, could have a decent role with them. Give me Blake Corum.
I like it.
And then flex is interesting. There's still some solid wide receivers on the board that could have solid roles with their teams, but I'm going to go with Dallas Goedert. Give me Dallas Goedert, tight end at flex.
We're going 2 wide receivers in this situation?
2 wide receivers.
Okay, because I had you down to have to take a quarterback there, so I was okay.
Nope.
All good.
So my final pick will be a quarterback, and I'm happy with one of 2 of them. There's 2 guys I like.
But who'd you just pick?
Blake Corum and Dallas Goedert.
Dallas Goedert. All right, you wasted it either way. All right. Thanks.
All right, back to me. I need a receiver and a quarterback, but since Brian already has the quarterback, I just have to take my receiver here. So, I think that this guy has a chance to be one of the best rookie wide receivers in the NFL this year. Has a ton of vacated targets on his team with the departure of 2 studs, and that's Ladd McConkey of the Los Angeles Chargers. I think that he's going to have a very big role. I think he's very soon going to be Justin Herbert's favorite new target. Give me Ladd McConkey.
All right, so I messed up the rules and have to take an extra wide receiver. And this guy I was going to take in my flex actually still got back to me. So give me Hollywood Brown. I think he's going to have an awesome year. I know he's going to start injured, but he's got the best quarterback on earth. So I love the opportunity for him.
I love that. I think Marquise Brown's going to be really good once he comes back. So you have a flex now. That's it.
Oh, that's right. It's still me with the flex. All right, the flex is where it gets a little rough as you start looking down this list now. So DeAndre Hopkins is right there, but I said I wouldn't take any Titans, and I have to live up to that, I think. So I do not like having this player. I'm hoping there's something better, but at this point, he's my last pick on this. Give me Christian Watson.
I like that. I would have honestly gone Dobbs if I were you.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been a better match to what I said last time, but I'm going to go with the ADP rankings and take Christian Watson here.
Yeah.
All right. So, I got to close this off with my quarterback. I'm tempted to take a rookie like Caleb Williams, but I just can't get over the fact that I could get Jared Goff outside the top 100. I will easily settle for Jared Goff here.
Yeah, and I know you were thinking this guy. I was happy with him or Goff falling back to me. I will take Caleb Williams to round out this draft.
All right, that's a good one. Let us know who won the draft, and if you want to be a part of these, you can join our Discord, link in bio. So make sure you guys keep up with us. I believe Zach has to go for today, so that'll be all we do today. We'll be back tomorrow. Actually, we're not going to be live, but we're going to be interviewing someone from the Green Bay Packers, and then Wednesday as well from the Kansas City Chiefs. So going to have some fun content coming soon. We got our community fantasy draft tonight, so I'm going to be taking names in that one. I've won, I think, back years that league as the commissioner. I know it's a little sketchy, but I'm looking for some competition, so that'll be a lot of fun. And then Wednesday night as well, actually, we have our staff league draft, so that'll be a lot of fun. We'll be back next Tuesday. No show on Monday because it's Labor Day or whatever other holiday you Americans call it. So that's going to be all for Pass the Rock for the next week, but we will be back next Tuesday, in which we'll be 2 days away from the NFL season. Fellas, it's been a fun show. Can't wait for next week. We are finally so back.